Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back once again for the very first time to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host Danjo here with part 39 of Stick Tips, the segment here on the show all about controllers, adapters, various gaming interface devices, and yeah, hope you're all doing well today. And inevitably, this is going to be the last Stick Tips episode for a little while because we have a new Retro Classic series coming soon. Very soon. Actually, I don't know when this episode is coming out. But within the next couple of days. And I'll go over that in that first episode. So hope you guys are looking forward to it. But yeah, if you guys have been here before, lately, if you've been keeping up with like streams and videos and such, you probably already know where I'm going with this, but this is about the recent Wingman FGC2 firmware, which is a stable firmware. It's not a beta, which, even though it has a very beta-ish title, version 1.1.2.4, and they added, I'll just go over the patch notes. So this came out like mid-November 2025, and they added compatibility with the Zwicky 1 handle Mascon for Nintendo Switch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, sorry. They added the GameSir G7 Pro compatible controller, wired connection with vibration, 2.4 gigahertz dongle without vibration. And I'm sure some people are happy about that one because I actually did see some comments a while ago about the G7, and yeah, apparently now it's compatible. So fixed the issue of accidental button presses on the Beitong BTPK P40 2.4 gigahertz dongle. That's a mouthful. Wired connection with vibration, 2.4 dongle without vibration. Touch emulation, mode 1, share button and R1 button. Touch key equals touch key and option. Street Fighter 6 retro game. I don't know what they mean by that. I also don't play Street Fighter 6, so if you know what that means, like, you know, feel free, put it in the comments. And of course they fixed the PS5 console pop-up with controller update prompt. That was actually a little while ago. Made a video on that when that was fixed in the beta 1.1.2.3. So, but yeah, this is not a beta, which is kind of a big deal because the last time we had a stable firmware update, which I know some people do wait for those and don't even bother with the betas, was in June. So it's been almost 6 months. And this isn't even what the website looks like anymore. This is from a previous Stick Tips episode, like part 30, I don't know, 4 or something like that. So yeah, it's been a little while, and you may notice something else here, which I'm going to touch on the end of the video. But yeah, they do recommend now that you use the web updater. There's still no download for the actual like installer. That's more standalone. I always liked the installer. I'm not a big fan of the web updator, but they recommend using Google Chrome. If you do, you may have to enable these features. I've talked about this before, but as far as permissions go for the website, so it has to read USB devices, which I don't know if that is different from the HID devices thing. I also had that enabled. And yeah, I don't know if it was serial ports or file editing, but I went ahead and enabled both of them just to make sure it had like read and write permissions for things connected to the USB ports. Because yeah, and it has a step-by-step thing on the website. It just initially did not work for me, and then I realized, oh yeah, I have like all the security settings, so I may have to look at, you know, some of those to allow the website to do things. And yeah, this is the dreaded message that will no longer pop up anymore if you've been using the Wingman FGC2 for the majority of 2025 like I have. You've probably seen this message countless times. And yeah, you would always just have to select notify after 24 hours, and then 24 hours later it would pop back up and get to roughly 25% and then fail to update. If you tried saying, well, maybe I'll just update it, maybe it will be okay, but no. So this doesn't pop up anymore, thankfully. And on another relevant note, there's a Cyber Monday deal going on. I don't know how long the discounts can be going on. This is coming out after Cyber Monday. But usually the FGC2 runs for 60 USD. That is the MSRP of the adapter. But if the deal is still going on, you can get $9 off if you haven't picked one up already. However, depending on a couple of different things, you might want to hold off anyway. Like, more on that here in a bit. And after you update, it may not be necessary depending on how, if anything has changed. I always do this as a precaution. If you have custom settings set up in Brook Converter Center, which is still on version 1.2.1 by the way, you may have to reapply those changes, and then it'll, you know, tell you once it's connected what the firmware is on the Wingman device, you know, that you're customizing. Personally, I just go with these two, the dead zones to disable them, go to 0, and touchpad emulation mode to mode 1, which is the simple mode. And yeah, again, this is, they're still on version 1.2.1, so nothing has changed since July as far as that goes. So there you go. And yeah, it like, the FGC2 works with over 150 controllers now, so I'm not going to go over all of them, but I did have recent stick tips episodes on the GameSir the T3 Lite, and it's been working perfectly. It does work a little bit better on the blue mode, because then the actual capture button is the share button, so that is very nice. It also works well in the Xbox mode, but the blue mode, according to their manual, and I went over this on the last Stick Tips episode, is also called the DS4 mode. So I'm assuming they mean it's supposed to be like a DualShock 4 essentially, and it works very well with the FGC2, just saying. And of course, another previous Stick Tips episode, the 8BitDo Pro 2 for Xbox, both of the versions, the original and the newer Hall Effect versions, they work pretty much perfectly, but the dedicated capture button doesn't actually work as a capture button. Unless it magically does now. I haven't checked in a while. Nope, it does not. So that would be nice, and also no functionality out of like they just started doing like the vibration thing. It would be nice to also see those headset jacks be functional, so you can actually route audio through it as well. That'd be great, but that might be asking a little bit much. So, and yeah, I said you might want to hold off because of these guys. So the Wingman FGC VX has been around for a while. Like, even that previous screenshot from July had it listed on there. However, the VX is not available outside of Japan as far as I can tell. It seems like, well, maybe Japan, maybe also Eastern Asia, I don't know. In North America, it doesn't seem to be available at all, and I don't know if there's like any regional reason why. I have no idea. Even though they do have an English version of the product page on their website. So I don't know if it's available in Europe. I don't think so. Because I do remember seeing a post from Brook saying that it was going to be a Japan exclusive adapter. But they do have the upcoming Wingman P5. So this is their brand new one that's not even really available yet on most retailers. And as far as I can tell, the only difference between the P5 and the FGC2 is the P5 also supports wireless controllers. The FGC2 is wired only, and motion control, I guess. So I believe the XE2 also supported gyro / motion control, but this is, you know, fully compatible on PS5 and PS4. And yeah, it's just not available right now, at least on their official like Amazon listing page. It is, however, available on the one link that they had on their website for customers in the US, which is from Cave Gamers. I've never heard of this website before, but they're listing it at 75 USD. So $15 more expensive. And I don't know if this means they have 5 total units in stock, and that's all, or what. But I mean, I did a little bit of looking around, and I don't know, like, apparently it's like I'm just unfamiliar with this website. Like, I've never used it before. But yeah, I guess for that motion control compatibility and wireless controller compatibility, like for some people, the P5 being the same price as like a new DualSense is fine. But personally, I wait till the Wingman adapters go on sale anyway, most of the time. And also, I was a little confused that even the FGC2 was 60 when it was new, because like I believe the Wingman adapters previously, like the XE and the XE2, I believe were 40 when they were new. So I don't know, maybe they just had to adjust the prices because economic stuff, and I don't know. I will say the newer ones, they are quality products. Like at 60, it's still totally worth it. But yeah, 75. I don't know if that's gonna be the standard price. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Personally, I don't use wireless controllers if I can avoid it, because I don't like dealing with the latency that comes with Bluetooth. Like 2.4 gigahertz, sure, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the FGC2 does support some wireless 2.4 gigahertz, like with the dongle. Like I said before, like the GameSir G7 Pro or whatever. There are others on the compatibility list that are like that. So if your main concern is like the cable, like you don't want it being wired, you want it, you know, just not have the wire, there are options on there. And again, I can't test like every controller on the compatibility list because while I do have more controllers than I need, I don't have 150 controllers. Like that's a little much, but yeah. So personally, I would, even with the P5 coming up, I would still recommend the FGC2 because it's been very good. I've used it heavily this past year that I've had it, and as far as like playing PS5 games with a variety of controllers that are wired and interface with very, 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 very low latency, it's been fantastic. And yeah, I have my 8BitDo Pro 2 for Xbox, the Hall Effect version, connected right now because that is my favorite controller, and just double checked, made sure. Yeah, the capture button doesn't do anything. So if you want to do the share input, you have to, yeah, hold like view and menu or whatever together. I think those are the right terms. The other two face buttons like start and select, basically. Which is kind of annoying because in most games, the touchpad pulls up a menu, and the options button pulls up a different menu. So that is not great, because then you kinda are screwing up. Whoa, Naruto? Where's Sasuke? Alright, anyway. It kind of screws up your screenshots like 90% of the time. So that is not great. And yeah, there is a dedicated capture button on like most controllers nowadays. So the fact that it doesn't do anything most of the time. Whoa, it's Naruto again. Shadow Clone? Shadow Clone Jutsu? Anyway, it's very nice though. Like overall, because like I think I have the dead zone set to 0.01, and like I think I screwed up in calibration or whatever, because like if I set it all the way down to 0, I do get a slight like down to the right drift, like very, very slight. But apparently, oh, apparently that's only on the left stick. But it's not actually moving the character at all. Because like a lot of modern games, the left stick is for walking around and the right stick... Hey, what's going on? Why are you staring at me like that? I like your hair.
No, I'm just fine. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. The left stick is for moving, walking around. The right stick is for moving the camera. So that is oh, that is playing. Okay. That is nice that tiny amount of drift doesn't even do anything. Like, it's like, look at that. That's like so stupid slow. And really, I could only see that in Cyberpunk. Like, and just, yeah, toggling it up to 0.01, 0 issues. And again, as context, because I know I mentioned this in a previous Stick Tips episode, the one about this controller specifically, this has been my main controller for a year. And I'm careful with like pretty much all my controllers, but still virtually no drift. Like, and I know some people are like, oh, well, 8BitDo's Hall effect sticks are not that good, actually. Maybe on some of their controllers, but on this one, it's really, really good, okay? Like I've been using the T3 a lot lately because I was trying to get that video out, like the stick tips episode on it. I think I still only have like 20 hours of testing on that, and like it's good. It's a good controller. It really is. But like the triggers on this, like also are Hall effect, and it just the mechanism is so nice. It feels great. Like, and as I said in that episode as well, like the ergonomics, man, like are so much nicer on the Pro 2. Like the only thing holding this back is like the polling rate. Like honestly, because the GameSir T3 Lite has 1000 hertz polling rate, this controller does not. So it's a very, very, very slight. But in some games there is like a tiny bit more latency on this controller, and it's honestly not even perceivable 90% of the time. And like everything, and maybe it's because I've worked on this controller now and like disassembled it and like cleaned it and got it working like properly and everything. But it feels so good, like especially on this firmware, because like it before, whenever I'd have issues with this while using this controller on PS5 with the FGC2, it was never an issue with the controller. It was always an issue with like the adapter. Like sometimes you get like random disconnections or you know, just like some odd behavior, and especially after a couple hours of use. And then if it got real bad, I would like, you know, disconnect it physically for a bit, maybe like restart the PS5 and then reconnect it. Like really only do a reboot if it got really bad, but usually before this firmware came out, like that would be the fix. Just like reconnect to DualSense, like just disconnect the adapter for a while and then reconnect it, and that's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I honestly can't think of anything else, and I did just want this one to be a little shorter, a little bit more casual, because I can only be so comprehensive with this one, and for the most part, most of my testing with this firmware has been with these two controllers anyway, because like I was trying my best to get those episodes of Stick Tips done about those two controllers. So especially since this firmware has come out, that's like the two I've used. But if you're curious about specific compatibility, there is a full compatibility list on the website. I will say the 8BitDo Pro 2, the Bluetooth version, still doesn't work. on the wired modes on it, which is unfortunate. I double checked again before recording this today, and I had the idea, well, maybe take out the batteries so it doesn't try to pair first, because you're trying to use it in wired mode only, and it literally doesn't have a wireless chip, so it has nothing to connect to, you know. So yeah. And I was hoping the 8BitDo M30 2.4 gigahertz would work with the dongle, because I did see that some of the other like Saturn or Sega Genesis style controllers, like with dedicated dongles, like were working a while ago. I don't know if that's still in beta, but it is not. It will work if you wire it directly, but the controller wasn't really designed for that. At least like the older versions that use the micro USB connector. So while it does work, it doesn't feel great. Or maybe it's because my micro USB cable just needs like stronger teeth, I guess, to like prong in there. But I really just prefer, like, I would love if it worked with the dongle. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, if 8BitDo would, and I know I've said this before, I'm just going to say it again real quick. If they came out with a 2.4 gigahertz version that uses that 8-speed tech that they developed, and has like, you know, the Hall effect triggers, but also like TMR sticks, and made it like, you know, still multi-platform, that'd be great. Like, there are a couple of other little things I would put on there, but yeah, the oh, and at least 1,000 hertz polling rate, because while the Pro 3 does look enticing in my opinion, it's not what I'm looking for, and the polling rate is like very slow comparatively. I think in its fastest mode it's only 250 hertz or something like that, it says on their website. I don't quite remember, but anyway, it's gonna do it for today. So thank you all for being here, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Of course, before we get going, it is time yet again for the outro. Special thanks, updates, all that jazz, and a very special thank you going out to the amazing people who help make it possible, the current Arts and Crap Show members, which at the time of recording is Novelis Draconis, Aaron Schick, and 97 Johnny Boy. Thank you all so very much for choosing to support the show a bit more directly via channel membership. It vastly helps out. Very much appreciate it, and it is very much optional, so you guys are extra awesome for doing so. And if you want to be incredibly awesome like these amazing people and get in on all those membership benefits, check out that join button down below. If you know what I'm talking about, there's no join button for you. That can happen for various reasons. There's also a link in the description. It talks about becoming a channel member that will also bring up the membership details. But yeah, long story short, membership tiers start at $3 a month. That's roughly 10 cents a day, gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series get made here on the channel via the members' choice polls. It's a thing we do once a month for a full week over on the membership tab, and that is how all of the series get decided. So, this episode is coming out early December. We did just finish one up for November 2025. There will be one for December as well. We don't really need a new series decided very soon because we kind of have the next thing lined up for all the time slots right now. So we'll inevitably be deciding something preemptively, and it will more than likely be towards the end of the month. For the majority of 2025, it's been the last week of the month. So, This is, however, an approximation of future announcements from the past, so if you want all the announcements as they happen, and the bell does not work for you, I get it, the bell does not work for me, but there are 4 other ways you can stay up to date. We have the post tab here on the channel, the Farts and Crap Show Twitter, the Bluesky, and the Discord. I always post on all 4 whenever there's an announcement, so regardless of which one of those works for you, you can stay up to date. And links for those are down in the description, also on the channel banner. Yeah, that's gonna do it for now. So, thank y'all once again for being here, guys. Till next time, take care, and I hope you have yourself a beautiful day.